Hello and welcome to Biotecnika. In an effort to help all our young students and subscribers, Biotechnika has been working diligently in last several years. And today I'm so proud to present to you one of the oldest subscribers, alumni, and a very good friend of mine, Dr. Shishir Singh. Dr. Shishir has finished his Ph.D. and now he's doing postdoc in New York at Mount Sinai, and he has joined us live. The timing of this interview is 11:30 at night, and you will find him as fresh as the early morning. And the reason is he's always ready to help youngsters just like you. So welcome, Dr. Shishir, to the interview. It's a great pleasure to have you on board. So how was your day so far?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this interview. And it's a really pleasure for me to talk to budding or young minds of future. My day has been nice. It was this weekend, calm day, cold. It's really cold in New York right now.
I can see that. So. Right. Okay. So, Dr. Shishir, we had invited you as a speaker in our workshops earlier, right? And you had a chance to interact with all the young minds. At one point in time, you were at the same stage, and now when you are speaking to these people in these workshops, how do you feel? Does it remind you of your old days?
It does remind me of my old days. I do get a bit jealous with all the students because it seems like they have more resources than I had at my time. And I was always curious. And then I was always thinking there could be some way where I can interact with experts in my field and telling about their experience or the things they do. But now they have it. And it's a real good source for them.
Yeah, especially today's technology has revolutionized things, and even I feel jealous at times of what facilities we had then was nothing compared to what we have today. At a click of a button, we can talk. That's amazing. So,
yes.
Dr. Shishir, coming to your background, so if you could show us a bit of, glimpse of your struggle and your hard work, which has gone into your journey so far. If you could inspire the young minds with your journey, please.
Yes. So I lived my childhood in a really small town, and its name is Satna in Madhya Pradesh.
Oh wow!
And then in city Jabalpur. So my father was a government official. So whenever he gets transferred, we used to move with him.
Right.
And in school, I was an average student because my percentage were like always between 70 and 80, not like 90s and stuff. I was always envious of those kids that knew everything and score such high scores. But I was also like very curious in science, like why it is happening, all these stuff, and then playing sports. So doing everything I can do in my power, apart from learning. And when I finished my school, I wanted to become a doctor. So for 2 years, I tried to clear PMT.
Okay.
And I would not say like a lot of people say that I missed just by a few marks. I missed by, I would say 10, 15 marks all the time. Once I got dental, but still I was not passionate enough to join it like this. So I joined Amity University in Lucknow to do my B.Tech in Biotechnology.
Oh, great.
And this is where I actually started to get a glimpse of a research field and how it is like going in the world right now. At that time, things like CRISPR came, and then we were only reading in theories.
Right.
Then after that, I went to BITS Pilani for my master's, also in biotechnology, and this is where I got the real exposure towards research because I was in contact with so many PhD students there. All the professors, they had done their time somewhere in abroad, like really good places, so they knew how actual research is like. And how it is different. And I got exposure in like animal biotechnology, plant biotechnology, computational biology, and few more. So I got really a window on all these fields, how it is there. And then I fell for a parasite study, like molecular parasitology in general. And this this is where ultimately I went to do my Ph.D. in Germany.
Oh, wow.
And as a struggle, I would say I always thought that scoring good numbers is the only way you can succeed, which is not true. Because as I said, I was always an average student. There were like always a lot of people above me, but then it's always the will that I wanted to do more and more. I always felt I knew less.
Right.
I want to know more,
Right.
which took me here.
Wonderful. So you finished your B.Tech and then you did your Ph.D. in Germany and then postdoc in US. So when you look back, which is the best time you had so far in your academic journey?
Oh, so friends-wise, I would say like both the B.Tech and ME because it was more fun-filled. I was still very young, trying to do engineering and biotechnology apart from doing everything else. Confused what I want to do in my future.
Right.
Do I want to go for a job like a lot of people in IT? At that time, there was like this mass recruiting from big IT companies. And I also did crack in one of them, but ultimately I decided not to go, just to go for my master's. And with my life experience-wise, I would count my PhD, which I did in Germany, that I got exposure to how scientists outside India think like, how people outside India are. I got to travel like 15 to 18 countries in Europe with different languages, with different culture, different food and everything. And then I learned how, means we are all like human beings, but how different we are. So this was my life experience. And right now I'm just kind of started here in New York, like only 1 year. So I'm learning the American way, how they do research and stuff.
Okay. So, looking back at your journey, what exactly motivated you to pursue science? The initial setbacks which you faced in your PMT, and then you got dental also, and then you went ahead with B.Tech in biotechnology. What motivated you to pursue science at the +2 level?
So, if I was not able to become a doctor, then I used to joke always that I would want to create medicines or therapies which doctors would use. And the only way to do that is if I want to discover something new. For me, it was biotechnology. So then I went into biotechnology with Amity, which was like the gate for me to enter. And then I knew starting now, Amity is like my base. Now I have to go further and always try to go to the place which is better than the before. So Amity is a good university. Then I went to BITS Pilani, which was like top institutes in India. And now the better one was definitely outside India. And then also I'm still finding better and better and better. It's always a challenge to go to a better place because you have to surpass your limit. Of your thinking, your capability, how much hard work you can do, and how much stress you can handle.
Right. That's a great insight there, Dr. Shishir. So, speaking of the challenges, so right now you are a postdoc. What are the key challenges you face on a day-to-day basis, and how do you encounter them and become victorious? Our students would be curious to know that.
Yes. So the day-to-day challenge I have right now is the project that I have in my hand is so unique because of the kind of patients I handle, which is like Crohn's disease patients. And the stuff that happens in this place, Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, it is one of the only 2 places around the world who does that. So I have a unique source of these patients' stem cells and gut microbiome. And so I research on certain stuff which no one has access to. So I have to find experiments which makes really sense in, for example, doing some mice experiments, what kind of mice models and stuff.
Right.
And what results is expected with me. And I have to have like best communication with my supervisor and what we need, what makes sense. What do we see in these patients that would be interpreted in like research and how we can make it better? So you have to keep on asking questions, not to yourself, but also the people who know more than you. As my supervisor, he knows more than me. So I have to like always ask him what more we can do, what wrong we are doing, or what correct we are doing.
Right. Very true. Very true. Completely agree with that statement. We have to always ask if we don't know. That's how you pursue science. Wonderful lines there. So, Dr. Shishir, one question to you is this is a personal question from my side, and that is, you have been a part of Biotechnika's subscriber base since a long time. So, how did you find us, and how Biotechnika was helpful in your journey so far?
Yes. So, when I was in my Bachelor days in Amity, when I started looking how to prepare for GATE at that time, so I would say there were like only few sources available. Maybe right now there's many more with all the edtech companies coming up in India. But at that time there was no Byju's, no Unacademy, nothing. It was just YouTube, your books, your professors, and literally very few resources available. And then I subscribed to Biotechnika to know all the news that is happening with. So Biotechnika always updated me with the dates of examinations, upcoming examinations, so that I don't miss any deadlines, the answer key to all the questions, and previous question banks, certain study materials, certain insights into where to look for. So this was really helpful because this is what you want.
Of course.
Every person since child to death, they always look for someone for supervision. Like as a child, your parents are your supervision, and when you're dying, your doctor is the supervisor supervising you.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful lines there. So, Dr. Shishir, throughout your career, if there is one key moment which you think is the milestone moment, like it was a life-changing moment for me, what would that be?
It would be the day that I got to know that I got DAAD scholarship for doing my PhD in Germany. Wow. Because I knew that once I get one of these prestigious scholarships to go outside India, this will be my stage for the international career, to have an international career, which could give me more recognition, because I was really ambitious towards that. It took a lot of fight and pain to get it, but it was worth doing it, because everything good that you want, it needs a lot of struggle.
Right. So coming to today's research scenario and the students, on one hand, I talk to successful people like you, and then on the other hand, I talk to a lot of students who are just getting started with their career. Say they're getting started with their BSc or MSc, or maybe they finished their bachelor's or master's. And because of all the negativity on social media, they feel that there's no scope, there's no growth, and they should leave the field. Instead, I always encourage them that there is scope, because I keep talking to all of you, and the future of research I keep seeing through the eyes which I have got there, which is all of you. So if you can tell or clarify this to our young audience that there is scope and how things can be in future, that will be of great help. So a few words of wisdom from your side on this.
Definitely, because I know their dilemma, what they go through, because I've also seen a lot of my colleagues getting into IT jobs. Like they are doing biotechnology, but then they went to IT jobs because they have the jobs. It's more safe to have it for the future and stuff.
Right.
But the thing is, you have to see the long picture, like the really long goal. If your goal is just to get a job, maybe it's fine. But if your goal is to do something substantial with your education, which can be used for the society in biotechnology, then research is one of the best ways to do it. And it's not only one of the ways, you can also go into industries and the pharmaceutical industry. Like this is one industry which will keep on growing. The healthcare industry, the healthcare consultancy. So what I would suggest is, before any student who quits on this field, do your research on Google. And all the resources like Biotechnika, like the website has a lot of stuff to see what you can do in future.
Right.
What are your options and how would you go there? And do you have that much of willpower to reach there? Because once you reach it, it's not that difficult. Like reaching there is always difficult. Good things always come at a price.
Right.
But I think at the end, it's worth paying that price. Because
Very
when you
true.
see where you are and how useful you are to the society. What I can say is, I always, as I joked earlier, that I wanted to make a medicine that doctors will use. Right now, the stuff I'm doing, which is like super secret,
Right.
is used in patients, and if it works, it
Right.
will come in the therapy within like 2 years.
Wow.
And you will see much better changes in these patients with their condition. So this is how it is actually going. And you have to have patience. Patience is the key.
Of course. Research is all about patience. So, if
Yes.
you could tell us the disease which you're working on, if that's possible.
It's Crohn's disease.
Crohn's disease.
It's IBD. It's inflammatory bowel disease, one form of IBD, Crohn's disease.
Okay.
And it's like really prevalent throughout the world. Like
Right.
15 to 20% people in every country always have that.
Oh, okay. So I think that's going to be a great breakthrough discovery, and I wish you all the best for that. So,
Thank you.
so let's quickly jump on to the next question, which I have from the audience, and that is, if I look at it, okay, research always demands innovation and creativity at the same time. So how do you balance both and make sure that you are doing innovative research, which is creative, as well as something for the first time, and how do you manage that?
It's like being a poet, that once you know how to do it, you will find the way. But to know how to do it, you have to talk to people who are expert in your field, like
Right.
definitely your supervisors, your collaborators, and your collaborators will always be scientists at some level, the low level, mid level, or high level. And they have so much of life experience in this field. They will tell you what you should be looking for. You can always ask for their feedback, because I think most of them whom I met, they were really polite to give me feedbacks to my projects, or how to improve my results, how to make it unique. And always read more and more like research articles, or just normal articles by publishing groups on certain technologies, going through innovation, and stuff like these. If you know that, if you, for example, in 2015, CRISPR came, and it was so new, so expensive, only few people can do it. But right now it's so cheap, literally everyone can do it. It is an innovative technology, but then you have to know how it works.
True.
And for that you need to talk to a lot of people and read a lot.
Very true. So, Dr. Shishir, now it's been like almost a year in New York. You've been working. So, how hard or easy is life there, and what are the challenges you faced initially when you went there?
So I had my experience of being outside India already in Germany,
Right.
and there they don't even speak English; they
Okay.
speak German. Means I also speak a bit German now.
Okay.
So it's like anyone in their native country, they live, they have their food, their culture, their language, their festivals.
Right.
You leave all these just to pursue science. So you have to be really motivated and really positive about it. And you have to embrace what it is coming, because it's a new experience.
Right.
And for me, not to miss my homeland, I cook myself Indian food and enjoy their local cuisine whenever I have the opportunity.
Right.
But people in general, like on this planet, I feel like 99% are always helpful and polite. So you always find good people everywhere, which make your journey good enough.
Certainly, that's very true and very insightful. Okay, so Dr. Shishir, I'm sure you said you have to be really positive to pursue science in a foreign land. Then only you can make it to distant lands like America. So that means you must be having some inspirational models, role models in your life. So who are your role models so far in your life?
So my role models are mostly my mentors, which were my friends. So when I was doing masters, they were PhD students, all in BITS Pilani, working on parasite research, working on plant biotechnology, and they were the one who showed me everything. And I was kind of with them almost every day because it was the same campus, talking to them on the tea or something in the class if they are teaching or they're taking that class with us.
Right.
And then I got to see their day-to-day life. Like PhDs are not normal people just reading from books. They're finding questions and then they're trying to solve that problem which have no answer yet. So you have to think, your brain is always working.
Right.
And it seemed like whenever they solved something, it seemed that they are so delighted. That feeling of how research could give you such a good feeling was one of the motivations. And like those people, the life they showed me in 2 years of the PhD students, it's not always good. Like they are struggling, they have problems, but they never back down. They try to solve it and go through it. And this is not only educational achievement, but a life achievement as well. You learn to go through difficult phases. So those people, PhDs,
right,
who were my friends and mentors, and I was shadowing them, were the reason I went into research.
Okay. So let's look at, you're doing your postdoc right now. What are your future plans? How do you plan to proceed forward in your career?
So currently, in short-term future, I am trying to write a grant of my own, being in the same lab to get more money for the research because it's good for my career. And then for the distant future, I'm planning to take the same thing, my experience in biotherapies that I'm doing here. And there are many, many companies who do that and use it with them because the research that is done in academics has to ultimately go through the industry to reach to the normal people. And then once I have this experience in academics, at one point I would want to go there and then excel it or propel it as much as I can so that it reaches faster, because every head with the same experience, every person with the same experience is really important. Right. This is how the vaccine of corona came one year. Yeah. Everyone working together.
Absolutely. Collaboration. That's the key secret of faster innovation, actually. When more brains are connected together. Wonderful line there. So, Dr. Shishir, now that we have almost reached the end of our interview, so we'll have a surprise rapid fire round. I'll throw a word to you and you have to speak whatever comes in your mind. So, it's going to be
yes.
Are you ready?
How long do you have to speak? Just few words?
Few words, first word or something. 2 words.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So the first word will be India. Best. Okay. Research.
Patience.
Marriage. Fun. Okay. Postdoc.
Challenging.
Biotechnology.
Innovative.
Okay. Biotecnika.
Resourceful.
Okay. Future.
Bright.
Okay. Returning back to India.
Oh, difficult.
Okay.
But definitely at one point.
Right. Family?
Everything.
Okay. Career?
Second to family.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. That was really insightful. So that just threw what is exactly going on in Shishir's mind, right? We could find out. Wow, great. So Shishir, one last question now to you. You have been associated with Biotecnika since a long time, and like I've always said, there are youngsters who are directionless, and there are more people who misguide them than people who guide them, right? And
Yeah.
the general theory which people talk about is there is no scope, there is no future, and you should leave the field, which I strongly object to, because that problem is there in every field. It's not just here. So,
Yeah.
what will be your message to the youngsters who are just passing out and getting started in their research career? How should they pursue and perceive this field?
First of all, I would like to say that the people, those who are demoting you to not do the research, are probably these show of people that they need. These Instagram show of people that need to be very clear that life has to be always beautiful. But those are like short-term success. At the end, you might not be happy. If your mind is through and you want to do research, you should be really stubborn about it, because it doesn't matter what they say. Because I had friends who would be like, you see on a social media party here and there, and you'd be like, okay, I'm struggling. But then the best example right now is Messi. Just today, Argentina won the World Cup.
Right.
And if you see Messi, he is the best player, but he never won the World Cup till today.
Right.
So he had struggling for 18 years.
Correct.
Of his, more than half of his year to get this World Cup. This is how much. And this is now, if you meet this person, he has achieved everything. This is same with you. People would say, leave it.
Right.
Don't do it. There's better stuff to do. You don't have to go through this pain. But remember, if you go through this pain, the achievement you will have, they will sing about it later.
Wonderful line there. Great. So with this, we come to an end of our interview. Dr. Shishir, thank you so much for your time, and I know it's almost midnight there, so I'll leave you there. And to our subscribers, fans, and students of Biotecnika, that was Dr. Shishir, who just told you that if you want to be successful, target being the Messi of biotech sector. Leave out all the mess which is being created by negative people. Focus on what you will achieve. It took 18 years for Messi to get a World Cup to Argentina, and you can be the next for India or the global research world. Thank you so much, Dr. Shishir, for your time today. It was wonderful interacting with you. And,
yes, it was really wonderful.
And we look forward to your continued patronage and contributions towards the scientific community, and definitely towards Biotechnika's workshops. Thank you so much.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
Good night.